Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, including Steven Universe, Gravity Falls, and Rick and Morty. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Sam Quattro.
Hello.
And Delaney Stovall.
Hello.
Today, Sam, Delaney, and I will be discussing the latest episode of Steven Universe, Sadie's Song. We discuss... Tepid applause. We discuss every episode of Steven Universe here on the Overly Animated Podcast, and you can check us out at overlyanimated.com every Thursday, afternoon, night, whatever this is, and we also are...
Evening?
Evening. Thank you for telling me what's in between afternoon and night. I was lacking. Okay, let's get into Sadie's Song, storyboarded and written by Paul and Raven. I feel like this is the third Paul and Raven episode in a row. No, only second. Okay. Sam, what did you think of Sadie's Song?
I liked it a lot.
What did you like about Sadie's Song?
I loved Sadie's mom. I thought she was very cute. I feel like we're entering a new era that's like the mom episodes.
What, isn't the show already the mom episodes? Because all the gems
it's
are
the
mom
show.
Yeah.
It's entering like a mom arc of other people's moms.
Yeah, this is our second mom episode in a row, you're right.
We're going to get to the end, and it's going to be sad Steven about his mom. So it's going to be, we're all just going to cry.
We're entering the mom arc, as I like to call it.
Mom arc.
And I enjoy it. Well, maybe we've already been in the mom arc, because we, met Vidalia before.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just a lot of moms, and I love Sadie's mom. She's adorable. Even though, she's embarrassing, I wish my mom was like that. Also, Sadie's really cute.
Yes.
Okay, Delaney, what do you think?
I liked it. It was adorable. Sadie is always a treat. And whenever Steven and Sadie get together, great things happen. So I was pleased. And then also, Barb is a precious character. She's just great. When because it's really funny, they did the stomping, and you're like, oh, is she going to be scary? And then it's like, no, she's adorable. And it was fantastic. It was just really, and she was just super energized. And I'm also always a sucker for, performances, which is a good thing. I like Steven Universe because there's songs all the time.
Yeah.
So it was
Did you notice that the song was sung by Olivia Olson, aka Marceline the Vampire Queen?
Ooh, was it?
I did recognize the voice, which is weird because I don't watch Adventure Time.
Interesting. I also liked this one. This is the type of episode I complain about, but how can I not like?
How can you complain about it?
How can I not like it? I mean, I still probably will have a little rant on this type of episode existing in the show, but if in terms of the specific one, I was very much a fan of it. I mean, I'd say Sadie's probably my favorite side character, now that Connie's not really a side character anymore, right? Yeah. I really enjoyed this, and it was really cute. Sadie's great. This brought clarity to me asking how old Sadie was. I was not. I feel like Sadie could have been an adult before, and it wasn't obvious. But now it seems like she's not. So
really, because her mom had a line she didn't go to prom.
I mean, okay, she could be it seems like she's in the 18 to 20 range, right?
Yeah.
Whereas before I think she could have been 25 or something, right? And
really, her
character design's ambiguous to me. And before we didn't meet her parents, and she was talking about Lars to going to her house or something, and it maybe seemed like she was alone. I don't know. So this brought clarity to me for that. But I like the song in this episode. Apparently sung by Marceline, which is good. And it's not the deepest thing. I mean, we have this one conflict with Sadie and her mom, and it's one that's going to be relatable to a lot of people, much like last episode. There's no plot, no gems. Once again, second episode in a row, no gems, except for Steven. And I think the most notable thing is Steven's performance at the end, which we will talk about.
I love Steven. Is
good.
He's the best.
Yeah,
everybody should strive to be Steven.
Flawless.
That was a performance that was great for his character and great for the show, but I think if you're looking critical quality wise about the specific episode, it doesn't seem cohesive. It's kind of random. But we'll talk about that. I have quotes from the AV Club to support me, but yeah, I was a fan of it. I do hope we get not another side character episode next week.
What's next week's title?
We meet Lars's mom.
Oh my goodness, yeah. No Lars episode next week. Next is Catch and Release, and I think it's a plot episode because one of the storyboard artists said it was their favorite. So, but then again, this show, the crew with this show, that can mean anything. So who knows?
Peridot's mom.
Peridot's mom.
Please. She's even more of a
Gems
Dorito.
having moms. What?
What? Like it's like the gem moms. They like get a gem and then like have it made in like a specific cut like a jeweler would do.
Are you talking about the reproduction process for gems?
Yes.
Is them going
And
to
then
a jeweler?
like they like go to like a mine or something. And they like mine some gem and then they have it cut as like a jeweler and then
It's like Sokka and the meteorite sword. Like they have to make it themselves.
Yes.
Like it's a really long process.
Okay,
New Theory by Sam.
we will expand upon that in our second theory podcast. And JK, it was dumb, but that's okay.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sorry.
I was totally serious about it.
No, you weren't.
You're so rude, Dylan. Wow. Respect Sam's theory. Okay?
I'm sorry, Sam. I respect your dumb theory, much like all dumb Steven Universe meta, which there's a lot of. So that fits right in. Let's talk about this episode. There's not a lot to talk about, but I guess the headline is Sadie's character and her interactions with her mom, Barb. Where have we seen Barb before?
She was in some mail episode.
She delivered the mail instead of Jamie, and they were like,
she was in the
what
Jamie
about
episode?
Jamie?
Okay. Yeah.
They were like, wait, what about Jamie?
So let's take this incredibly irrelevant side character and make her relevant. Okay, that's fine. And
She's precious. It's fine.
she was precious. I liked her. So I guess the big question is one of the big reactions I saw last week's episode with Kanye and her mom was how relatable a lot of people felt it was with kind of just this similarity, this overbearing mom who's, I guess Kanye's mom was kind of more controlling. So Sam, what do you think of the relationship between Sadie and her mom Barb? And do you relate to it all? And do you think it's realistic?
Well, I guess her mom would be considered like the overbearing mom, but like in a good way. Like she's very supportive of her daughter. Like, I don't know. It's like she just loves Sadie so much, and she wants the world to see Sadie as being this awesome person and stuff. But like in the end, I guess like it hurts Sadie because like her mom makes her do all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I do think it's relatable. Not to me though, because my mom wasn't like that. I don't know.
Delaney, what do you think? Same question.
Well, I mean, we established that my mother is Connie's mom, so
Is your mother also Barb though?
in kind of some ways, like this is definitely relatable, and I also have had friends who've had moms like Barb, and like I think in general, like not necessarily all parents, but a great deal of parents have like characteristics like Barb, and like parents want their kids to do well, and they want to encourage them to do things, and I was that kid who was always doing things and dropping out of stuff, and I just think like. And this is also the kind of parent we're fed to in media, the super embarrassing like parent, like, oh my god, mom, please go away. And some parents like to play off of that. Like, I know my parents are like, we're going to embarrass the crap out of you. So I think, and this is definitely like realistic. And I mean, it may be a little exaggerated, but that might just be from my experience because like my mom isn't this mom. But I do have friends. I know people who have mothers like this. So I think like,
there are definitely moms.
These
like
exist.
Sadie's
Yeah,
mom.
like these people exist.
When is my mom going to be represented? The not absentee, because absentee is already represented. The uncaring
mother. We've gotten
Mom
two
who-
over-caring mothers in a row, right?
pays the bills
Yes.
and like lets the children go out and do whatever they want.
Come on, Rebecca Sugar. We need all mom types representation on Steven Universe.
Yes.
We demand such.
I mean, maybe we just haven't gotten there yet.
I mean, we're on the mom arc, so
It might
next
happen.
5 episodes about moms.
We need to categorize all the moms. Yeah.
Okay, let's work on a graphic for this. Yeah, categorizing the moms from the scale being like uncaring to overbearing, and like
What about absentee?
maybe that's another category too. Yeah. Yeah, I thought I don't know how I personally relate to this. Probably not too much, although I guess I understand it. I thought this was very realistic. The show's this might be the best show on TV in portraying real human interactions. And they seem to know that, and they seem to keep doing it. Like, I don't know.
They know.
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
The show, like Rebecca Sugar and writing staff, knows that they are portraying these type of, especially female-to-female relationships that are just not seen anywhere else on TV. That is really just genuine in real ways, and it's good, and I like it. But it also, the question is, does this need to be an entire episode of the show? Right? I guess that's the question, and I think it can be. But it also it doesn't seem that great coming off of the last episode when it was also the entire.
Well, we talk about a lot, can we like a show and talk about it and be supportive of it, and then it still needs to have that social aspect. And I think in this case, we might perhaps sacrifice a little bit of plot and cohesiveness for something that is really important socially in a way that there really aren't shows that it's like female interaction. It's all men. It's all dad and son and all that stuff. And so I think maybe we might be on that side right now, because we've talked about that before. There's
two things this is doing progressively, and one of them is the female to female relationships, which the show consistently shows that it does incredibly well. Also, it shows female to male relationships involving Steven and everyone who he interacts with in a really great way. But the second thing that it's doing is it's portraying these TV's great, especially drama series, at showing the neglectful mom and stuff like that. Probably not mom, more like dad, like an absent father and stuff like that. But you never get the problems associated with loving parents. This isn't something that you really see on TV a lot, and a lot of your middle class audience is going to relate to this really, really much. Because parents in general are caring. And it's something that's going to connect with the audience a lot. And it's not, I don't know if this is it as socially important as what the show does with sexual orientation and stuff like that? No, but it is still good, right? It doesn't need to be the most important thing to be important,
Well, we have to have these things, so hopefully that one day they eventually become the norm, and I'm not having father-son storyline shoved down my throat, because I have never been a boy and I will never relate to all the things that are in male stories.
Yeah. And I think that the show's also good at making the male interactions with Steven relatable to non-males, or at least I would presume. I personally have trouble with male characters' interactions a lot what they do with television, but not with Steven. That's the thing.
Well, Steven isn't a lot of shows with character Steven's age, they make him he has to be the big macho sporty boy. Mm-hmm. Steven, this also, we kind of get we talk about Steven's performance, which we're going to talk about in a minute. I mean, I love Steven, but it honestly wouldn't matter what gender Steven is. That's what kind of a great, he's not, it doesn't matter. He's Steven.
Incidental, I guess.
Yeah, he just happens to be boy. It doesn't matter. He's a kid. That's the thing.
He's a child. The gender shouldn't be this defining trait.
And that's what's so great about it, and that's why we're Steven's great, because it doesn't matter guy or girl. Steven's just Steven and acts like a kid, and it's relatable and adorable and great. And we don't have the whole stupid, what they do when they have to they'll take a 6-year-old kid and they have to throw the gender roles on top of them the entire time, and you're constantly being reminded that little girl, little boy, or whatever. It doesn't matter.
I mean, Steven subverts gender roles, male gender roles, in a way I haven't related to in a male character since Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender. And we can talk about Steven a lot, but we'll get back to him for his performance. Let's get back to Sadie and her mom. So I guess the plot of this episode goes, turns out Sadie likes singing to herself, and Steven discovers this. Steven tries to get her to do this on a big scale, kind of well-intentioned. Your mom gets involved and does the thing that we learned she's been doing all the time, and eggs her on too much for something she just happens to kind of privately and wants to go big with it. And then in the end, she's able to convey her feelings to them and just go back to singing kind of to herself and Steven in private at the end. What do you think of this? How do you relate to Sadie in terms of this kind of I don't know what to call this mindset that she has with her singing?
What do you mean?
Oh, just the not wanting to perform in front of everyone and just keep things private.
Some people just want to hang out and sing to themselves. Because you're talented doesn't mean you have to broadcast it. And some people don't want to.
Yeah. And I have an example. It's not specifically performance related, but it's related to this. So my grandparents, like, if they find out you like something, you will get it forever. Like, I have a tower of mac and cheese in my room, which is great, but, like, not necessary. And then also, like, my brother, he really liked camouflage things, and his room was camouflage, like, the entire... It was crazy, because,
That
like,
sounds
how are
like
we...
some Extreme Makeover Home Edition stuff.
Yeah, but, like, you know, like... And then, like, my mom, she doesn't even like marmalade. And my grandparents, my mom once was like, I like this marmalade, like this particular marmalade. And then my mom was getting marmalade for years. And it's like, just because I like something doesn't mean I want to, like, have it all the time or do it all the time or make it a big deal. Like, you just like something.
Maybe this episode is about actually relating, actually trying to understand someone's feelings rather than just trying to understand the concept that they're into.
Or even, like, just because you think something's really great and, like, you're being really supportive, like, you have to take somebody's, take somebody's feelings into consideration, because, like, you can be like, yeah, this is really, like, somebody draws something, I'm like, yeah, this is really cool, but, like, if I go around and show it to everyone, they might not think that's really cool, because, like, they just wanted to show it to me or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's essentially what this is.
Yeah, the way I'm looking at this right now in my head is, like, this is all about just actually empathizing with the person. Yeah. Rather than just caring without truly trying to understand their feelings. I feel like that's what Sadie's mom is doing, is like she's supportive and caring of her daughter, but she's not actually trying to understand her. Yeah.
Yeah.
She just assumes she understands her, but that's really not how people work. You have to like purposely try to relate to them and understand their feelings. Yeah.
Empathize.
That's a big problem with, like, loving parents, like you were saying, because, like, they just want to, like, you know, as long as they're happy, or as long as, hey, they're good at this, we're gonna do this, and, like, they seem to enjoy this, let's, you know, keep going, but without being, like, you know, actually.
Parents just don't understand.
Nope.
Yeah, and I don't know, I like this, especially when we talk related to empathy. That's, like, one of my top 5 words in philosophical words.
Top 5 words.
I'm big on the problems of the world being because people don't have enough empathy. So I like the episode in that context. Other thoughts on this general stuff from Sadie?
Usually we do stuff and it's like, so we have a plot like this and it's like, she'll overcome her whatever and do it. I'm glad we didn't have that, because Sadie was just like, no, I don't want to do it.
That's a good point.
And we don't have that a lot in general, is that, like, someone actually putting their foot down and being like, no, I'm not going to do it. And it's not like, and this isn't even a big thing. Well, I mean, it's a big thing. It was performance, but it's not like when someone in a drama show, like, puts a gun in somebody's hand, they're like, kill him. They're like, no, I'm not going to kill him. Like, that's that's a more, like, obvious choice than necessarily, like, what this is, where it's like, oh, well, she should just go on stage and get over it. It'll be fine. Like, no, she said no. She doesn't want to do it.
Yeah. Let's talk about the ending of this, right? I guess the typical way you'd expect this plot to go is that Sadie kind of overcomes her embarrassment about this and, you know, performs on stage, which is kind of where the episode was heading, and Steven's happy.
Which I was expecting.
Yeah, and I mean, it's what you'd expect out of a normal show. Obviously, this is Steven Universe, so we're going to get these non-typical conclusions to it, and so what ends up happening is she just stays comfortable with what she is, and Steven, the one who's more likely to do something like this, takes her place on stage. And do you agree with this, Sam, that this is like a good way to end this for Sadie's character?
I guess. I don't know. I feel like I barely know Sadie.
Yeah, I feel like this and the Beach Islands are the ones that are certainly the most Sadie-centric episodes, right?
I want to know more about Sadie.
Well,
other than she likes Lars, and that
she likes Lars. She has a mom, cool. And
she has a mom.
She works at.
She wears black t-shirts.
Yeah.
Her, like, pants at work, they look like a face, like on her butt.
They did, yeah, I noticed that. I feel you. Okay. What is that laugh? I don't know. So this ends in a very much. So I guess the conclusion to this is, like, you don't have to be someone you're not. And you don't have to force, quote-unquote, growth about yourself that's not actually growth, right?
Yeah.
It's just, like, conforming to other people's wishes. You should just, you know, do what's comfortable, I guess.
You do you, bro.
Yes, the moral of this episode is you do you. There you go. So let's talk about how the Steven performance relates to that. Because, Sadie runs off, and then Steven dons the dress she was wearing and the makeup. Is it the same makeup that she had on?
Yes, it
It's
is.
same, yeah.
Yeah, which I don't know why. Yes, that's the exact same makeup as Sadie, and then goes
Because
on.
it's Steven.
Yeah, because it's Steven, and then goes on the stage and performs this pop song. So I always try to guess the names of the songs on the show. I'm pretty sure that. Wait, no, it's either like I'm famous or I'm a star. That it's one of those two or something. This song.
I'm famous.
It says I'm too famous. That's kind of the last part.
It could literally be the song "I'm Too Famous."
But then we get the ending. Is that an actual song? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
And then we get the ending afterwards, like talking about burning and something with like star burning.
You're gonna burn out.
Burn out, yeah. So this is probably something with star.
Not burning out, but
we have
something.
if Rebecca.
Especially-
I await the Rebecca Sugar demo for this pop song.
Yes.
We know it's coming, unless this was
it's a metaphor.
one of the Joe and Jeff. I think does the songs too, so we could get it from him too.
It's a metaphor.
What is it a metaphor for, Sam?
Because it's something about burning. We're watching her burn. What does that mean?
We don't get that part until the end, though.
Also, Steven's singing it, and like he wears a star on his shirt.
Steven's too popular.
Steven is too popular.
He's gonna burn. It's gonna be a witch hunt. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I like the song. It has, tangential meaning to what's going on. Maybe it has more than that. We haven't had time to analyze the lyrics. So what do we think of the Steven performance?
It was great.
So why did you think it was great, Delaney?
Interesting.
Okay, one, like, he's wearing like a crop top. Adorable. Like, this is so great. And it was just great seeing, I mean, and again, like, we're always, Steven subverting gender roles, and he's in a skirt and heels. Like, one, rocket Steven in the heels. Good job. Like, those are some nice moves. And it was just great, and he was wearing makeup, and he had fake eyelashes.
Yeah.
And it was just, all of it was just spectacular.
You agree, Sam?
Sure. I don't. It happened. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. So my first reaction to this was definitely, oh wow, this is really good. Like the gender role subversion thing is the main thing. It's like, whoa, you come to expect this type of thing from Steven Universe, but before this show, I would not have expected to see like this male child, donning a dress and makeup,
like wanting to, and not
like
being
wanting
fun.
to, and like not being made fun of, and like being seen as a great empowering thing. This is something that probably, I'm not sure what the percentage is, but it's at least 40%. It might be over 50% of this country still would watch this and just be disgusted by. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a conservative backlash or whatever over this episode.
Oh, yeah.
We gotta look out for 1 million moms.
Yeah. So it's just and you think, okay, why are you upset at this? Because this is how boys should act and stuff
I
like
love
this.
reading garbage like that.
Just love reading
One of my hobbies.
the hateful people spewing hate. Yeah. And
Not that I don't agree with it. Obviously.
yeah, you
I just love feeling terrible. It gives me such a rush.
this is a larger discussion about the psychology of that, but
Sam should see a therapist.
in conclusion, no, but yeah, it's such a wonderful thing to put on Cartoon Network and this widespread channel of this young boy who should be treated as genderless and should be able to do things outside of the societally prescribed gender roles, and wear this opposite gender clothes, and it's just so it's so just incredible to see. Maybe even more than anything else on this show. I mean, it's hard to beat the Ruby and Sapphire stuff we've had. Like that, it's like just, that's so heartwarming. It's like heartwarming because it's like such good emotions, and because it's so pure and free from societal hate, which is so pervasive in just all aspects of life. And so that's like, it's like just so warming in these two areas, and this is how I felt about that, and that's how I aspects, not areas, and that's how I felt about the Ruby and Sapphire 2 moments we've had too.
I mean, it's unreal to watch this.
It's so
great.
It's so weird, because we're so trained to expect the following of these societal expectations and gender roles, and to just see one show that just is like basically completely freed from them is so absolutely wonderful. And I think it's important to establish that this is the primary reaction I had to that. I want to read a quote from our weekly Eric Thurm quote from DAV Club. He gave this episode a B-. I'd probably give it a B+, I think.
Sometimes you just need fluff, bro.
Eric says, because, oh right, there's that ending scene with Steven wearing Sadie's clothing and singing, doing the performance for her instead. Was that something you guys wanted to talk about? It's pretty great, but it still ultimately feels a bit like super sugary candy to me. There's no show quite like this one that would take its totally awesome young male hero, put him in a dress and heels and makeup, and have him do this fabulous performance cheered on by a town full of people. That much is true, but it's also something that's a little too easy to imagine happening on this show. So that's the thing. Like,
5 question marks above my head.
This is such a Steven Universe thing, right?
Yeah.
And
it seems like, I mean, well, granted, that's the thing, too. It seems too perfect, but, like, we don't get this anywhere else.
Right. So if you're looking kind of at a world...
something that, like, is considered to be...
It's such
something that the show would do. Like,
the problem is that it's not something that necessarily contributed to the ending of the plot, is what I would say. Like, I'm not sure why this furthers our two main conclusions here. You know, the stuff with how Sadie feels about things and like the relationships with moms, right? So I don't know how this really relates to either of them. To me, it feels a little bit, tacked on. Like I don't think this feels cohesive with the rest of the episode.
I would agree with that. Like structurally, I was very confused.
So it's like, what are we gonna do? As a high point, because this is an episode, maybe even more than any. We've seen a lot of low-key episodes in the show, but without the Steven performance, this episode has no high point. And storytelling structurally, you kind of need this type of Steven scene in there. So it's almost there more to meet storytelling requirements rather than overall thematic ones.
I don't know. I feel like not every episode has to be like a home run. Sometimes
sure.
It's what do you mean, sure?
I mean, I don't think that, like, what, should we not criticize, like...
No, I'm not saying that's, like, not, like, grounds for criticism. I'm just saying, like, I don't know, it's kind of not... I don't know, I don't...
Like, do you mean we don't have to have, like, something super plotty every time?
Yeah, I'm saying basically that. I'm saying...
I don't really know if that's a response to what I'm saying, though. That's more of a response to like the B- giving this episode, like saying if I were to say I just can't handle these lack of plot episodes every time, then I think what you're saying would be appropriate, and I have said that in the past, and I think you've countered with that a lot. So this time I don't feel that way though. Like I'm saying, I think it's overall of quite a really good episode, and I just think that there's this one maybe element that's out of place with regards to the overall plot.
I don't know. I don't
think it diminishes from the effect it has on you, but at the same time, you do have to wonder if this. There is a certain amount of it's so cool that this is like the criticism that you can make with this show.
It's so cool.
Well, that's my preface for there's something to be said for. A lazy storytelling with the show being let's throw in the societally progressive element to Steven Universe, and that's just that's their fallback option.
Maybe I'm just like too simple-minded because I didn't really feel that way.
I mean, no, I think you cannot feel that way. I think a lot of people aren't.
I feel like it can also relate though. Like the scene, granted, I did miss like I think the first 2 minutes where like the whole with the flyers, but
there was not much missing.
Well, the line Steven said where he said, "This is my fault." And maybe we didn't have to have, like, how long the scene was, but, like, I do think it matched, like, this could kind of be, it didn't focus on Steven, but it could be kind of maybe a push for later where Steven, because Steven does stuff like this all the time. That's why we love him. He's precious, and he does cute things like this, where he's like, oh, you want to make art? Yeah, let's put them on shirts, or let's, whatever he wants to do. And he'll, he just does it. And then this kind of something like this, like, oh, this is because I wanted to do it, and it's not because you really wanted to do it. So this could be, him performing could, he was taking responsibility and...
Okay, so I think you're arguing for a secondary Steven arc that we haven't talked about. With kind of Steven's default kind of trait is to just kind of take over these roles for these side characters in the town and, like, maybe exert his will onto their actions. And here he tries to do that, and it backfires. And him singing this instead of Sadie is him realizing and maybe identifying kind of a flaw within him that he
also he's
to...
a ham. Like Steven Universe, Steven is a ham.
Mm.
He is a ham.
Like,
He
that's
is.
what he is.
But
So that's
and,
also a thing.
and him identifying this this thing that he does, and maybe realizing that he has to stop being overbearing on people, much like Barb, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a valid point. And I feel like if you want to disagree with me and say that the performance was not out of place in the episode, that it would be the counterpoint, and I think that's valid.
I mean, I do think structurally it's a little odd because I was really confused when we heard Sadie starting to sing. I was like, oh, is she coming on stage? Did she change her mind? And then no, it's just them in the donut place singing.
Them in the donut place singing, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Why
did
is
like
Steven
that ending.
allowed in like the back room?
Because
not
he's
in the suite.
cool. And he worked there for
I
like
feel
a day.
like we've had enough episodes building up to Steven just having free reign, you know,
But
in that
Steven
in
can
that
just do
store.
whatever he wants.
He's been there so much, so I think.
Well,
I
he
feel
Well, it's
like-
not like they have a manager, so
I mean, he pretty much does whatever he wants everywhere.
Who's in
he-
charge? Is it Lars or Sadie?
I guess
Sadie's in charge. I thought they had established that.
I don't remember. Okay, last brief thing is let's talk about the cameos that we see in this from other characters.
cameos.
The cameos we have Kiki.
Does it even count as cameos when like
Yeah,
there's
that's what I was
15
thinking.
people who are in the whole town?
By the way,
I
I saw that there were these indescript people there at Beachapalooza that were not people we knew. There were
Maybe
like
they're the
This
other
is true.
people that missed
there were like 5 of them.
But then they said there were like people, everyone from Beach City, and then some.
Oh,
it's
they did
still
say
just
that?
Beach City.
Okay.
Yes, they said
Oh,
that.
dang it. So that's them doing
There's
it.
literally only 15 people.
Also, I really like how it's Beach Blues is literally every single person in the town doing something.
Yeah.
It's a talent show. That's so,
Just a town talent show.
the
It's pretty good.
ventriloquist thing was so great.
Yeah, Kiki and her ventriloquist grandmother. Mr. Smiley hosting it. Is Mr. Smiley the one who did the workplace
Training,
defense?
yeah.
Yeah. That was one of the... I hear that one when I'm listening to the soundtrack, yeah. My favorite was Ronaldo's lecture on rock people, identification and defense.
It's pretty great.
I don't think this... I feel like we're out of... this is out of plot arc here. I feel like we've established that Ronaldo is now going to understand how things actually happen in Beach City. After that last episode.
Yes.
But rock people? No, oh wait, the gems are rock people though.
Yes.
Duh!
Okay, so this is
Duh.
okay. I just got it. So this is actually in
Just got
character.
it.
I'm not one to make the rock jokes all the time, like much of Tumblr does about
Well,
gems.
I mean, there's
Gay
a lot
stuff.
of jokes.
So this is Ronaldo lecturing about gems. Okay, so that makes more sense. If this was Sneeple, I feel like it would have been out of character. Like Ronaldo knows the Sneeple aren't a thing anymore.
Well,
but
I mean, he could be thinking. Well, he could still be wrong. I mean, he's like 95% definitely wrong about the gems. So that's why he's calling them rock people. And the drawing was literally like someone with a rock for a head.
Yeah.
So I mean, he can still be wrong. But yeah, no. I think this is a hint that he's going to be like heavily researching the gems and still be getting everything wrong.
I feel like that's where we got to go with this character. It's going to be good, yeah. I also like that everyone else is doing like talent, and he has a lecture series on.
Yes.
A TED Talk.
He's doing a TED Talk, yeah. We had Mailman Jamie and being a mime.
mime.
Yeah, your
Oh, he's a
mailman
box.
and mime.
He's in a box.
He's doing a box, says Kiki dismissively, yeah.
That's funny.
So
He's a
good.
mailman. In packaging.
And was that the last one? I think so. Yeah. Unless I'm missing so. Yes, okay. What else do I have on this outline that we did not discuss? I don't know, just specific things with Barb, like...
The gyms are going to be so mad they missed him singing.
yeah, that's true, they weren't there.
They're
Why
gonna
weren't they
get
there? Everyone in the town was there.
Except the gyms.
You know, Pearl's the one who's gonna be most upset at that.
Oh no, she's gonna like be legitimately angry.
Who would tell them that they missed it though? Who do they interact with?
Sadie.
No one.
I don't know.
I don't think they interact with Sadie.
Good.
They should. They'd be friends. Yeah.
Maybe the gyms are like on some super like top secret mission that Steven couldn't come on, which doesn't make any sense because they take him on everything. But who knows?
Would Sadie and Amethyst be friends?
Maybe.
I kind of feel that right now. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, they should be friends.
They both kind of need a regular friend.
Yeah.
Aw. Okay.
Well, they should be friends. Aww.
That's our next podcast. Thinking about which combinations of characters that haven't met should
I
be
want
friends.
Garnet to like punch Lars in the face.
Has Lars interacted with the gems? I think so.
I don't-
I feel like that's happened. Anyway, okay. Last thoughts on Sadie's song and overall thumbs up.
Yes, it was adorable.
Sadie's cute.
Yes, Sadie's cute.
Also, I'm just
Cartoon
obsessed with
crush.
Steven in the crop top. Like,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
so cute.
So I'm a fan of this one overall. I mean, okay. We don't need like this episode every week. I also feel like this episode doesn't function well within the release structure. This would be worse within a Steven bomb. Like, I feel like I would have reacted differently if this was in the last Steven bomb. Like, I would have been more upset that nothing happened. But this is the type of episode that would have been good in a Netflix style release. These type of episodes, because you can just immediately watch the next one. As
or
it is, you have to wait
right after the other mom episode.
It was kind of bad structuring. Like, thematically, it made sense, and they seem to be different production numbers because these are two of the same storyboarding team doing it in a row. So it seems like these were not intended to get next to each other.
It's the mom arc. Cartoon Network's
head of programming is like, wait, I've got it. These two involve moms. We should air them next to each other. So I think that's what happened. But
they made a Venn diagram, and they were like, okay, these episodes.
I wonder what, like, these old white guys in charge of Cartoon Network programming, if they ever watch this show, like this episode, what they would think, right? Like,
it makes money.
Yeah, I guess.
They're selling blankets for like $50.
I mean, I
want a blanket so bad.
I heard that, like, the Nickelodeon executives never actually watched Korra, so I don't think they actually watch the shows of the executives on these children's networks.
No, they just want money. They don't care.
Yeah. Well, they're doing their job, right? It's not. I mean, I guess their job should be watching the shows, although I don't know. Anyway. I'm Dylan Hysen, that's Sam Quattro and Delaney Stovall. You can find all of our social media links and everything about this podcast at overlyanimated.com. Check out our new YouTube channel where I'm posting all the podcasts, and we'll have video content in the potentially near future. That is probably OVA podcast. Nope, Overly Animated podcast on YouTube, I think. I don't know. I don't really know how YouTube
like, comment,
searching
subscribe.
Works. Like, comment, subscribe.
If you can find it, because apparently we don't know what it's called.
Our Rick and Morty podcast, Delaney, are getting views and nothing else is. So that's interesting.
Wow.
I knew Rick and Morty was big on YouTube though, so
that's like every time I'm on YouTube, there's this Rick and Morty episode that's been recommended or a Rick and Morty video, not an episode that's been
wow, that's illegal. Delaney.
I didn't listen.
That's legal.
No, there's literally this one video I get recommended every time. It's like top 10 things you need to know about Rick and Morty.
Finding something on YouTube is not illegal, Sam. That's okay.
I didn't upload it. God.
You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/overlyanimated. We need your support to continue this podcast. Thanks to our current patrons, Shayna, Mitch, Cordell, Beatrice, Nate, Andy, and Jamie. Hayna, Fever, Mitch, Cordell University, Beatrix Lestrange, Buzz Lightyear, and Mailman, who is featured in this episode. So there you go.
Didn't you decide to change his name? What do you want to be called?
No, he said he was good with Mailman. So.
Oh, Jamie.
Yeah. We interacted on Tumblr. We had Kingslayer originally, but that is not an animated show, so that doesn't work as well. Okay, we'll be back next week, or at least I will.
Never mind.
Nathan Fillion, I feel like
he's not an animated show.
Yeah, Beatrix isn't either.
I think we can do better. Yeah, we might need to do Beatrice from. I don't know if she watches Over the Garden Wall though. Next week we'll be back talking Catcher and Release. And
I won't be on that one.
You both might not be on that one, yeah.
Oh, it's Dylan solo.
I can't be on there. I will be elsewhere.
Probably me and Kathy will be doing that episode.
Me too.
And then
high five Sam, except not really. This kind of
and
sucks.
then me and Delaney are also regularly discussing Rick and Morty. I think Gravity Falls is back this Monday, so Delaney and maybe Bro will talk about that, and then maybe me and Delaney will continue talking about.
We need to make up a podcast for me and you, Dylan, because we don't talk.
I think we're gonna once fall shows are coming soon, so this should shake things up. Cool. So shake things up. There you go. Overlyanimated.com. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye. Or next time. Bye.
Bye.
It's not necessary, Sam.